So Vicente, we just got to actually watch your fight ourselves. Great fight. Obviously, you know, you fought it yourself. Looking back on it, having had a chance to see the fight, what did you think of it? How close do you think you were winning? How close were you to winning that fight?
You know, I thought during the whole fight I was being more precise with my shots, and I think that especially in the two first rounds, I think I won those two first rounds. I got the takedowns. The reason I exactly shot for the takedowns because it was a close fight stand-up. I think I was better in the precision, but I knew it was close, so I shot to put a difference on those rounds, and I think that made a difference in my opinion.
Okay.
And going to the third round, I think that was the closest round of all of them. Right. I still think that I won that fight, but it was a really close round. So I didn't get mad at the end, like really mad at what the judges chose for the fight, but I just think that I won in the two first rounds. But in the end, I was really happy with the fight. It was like one of the greatest fights I've ever been in, and that kind of fight, you know, you can't get sad about it. Yeah, you can't get upset about it. It was great, and Hyder, you know, he is a real fighter, and I'm a real fighter, and that's what you get when two real guys that just want to knock each other out go and fight. That's what happens.
You know, a lot of people felt that if you were going to win, you were going to have to take them down, but you actually stood with them and had a lot of success. Did you feel comfortable, you know, standing up with them and trading?
You know, I started in Muay Thai, so I definitely will strike with anybody. I will never, like, my strategy never is to take somebody down. I use the takedowns in a lot of my fights for points, because that's something that I know that the judges look at sometimes, like, oh, it's so close stand-up, who got a takedown. So I use that once in a while, but I don't really want to keep it on the ground and try to do other kind of stuff. If I see an opportunity to submit, I also will do that, because I'm good at Jiu-Jitsu and Lucha Libre from Brazil. So, but basically what I do is I go and strike with anybody. So no matter if you have heavy hands, hard chins, I will always go there to strike and try to break you in the stand-up.
Okay. You know, he was known as a guy who could punch, usually came forward. It seems, especially in the first round, you were kind of pushing him back, putting the pressure. Was that part of your plan to take him out of his fight and maybe put the pressure so he was the one moving backwards?
Yeah, that was part of my plan, you know. I watched the two fights he had before, and I knew that every time he sees that you're backing down and you're feeling his shots, he grows. So I wanted to make him feel that way. I wanted to put the pressure on him and make him, oh shit, I gotta back down now. So that's what I try to do. And it's not my style to back up, you know. I can take a punch. I could always take a punch. So I knew that he would hit hard, but I was gonna take it, and I had to keep pressing forward.
Okay. Watching that fight, you know, obviously that third round was, you know, whoever won and won. It seemed like you were both just basically giving out whatever you had. How much did you have left? Was it just, you know, I got to just throw it all out there? How did you feel in that last round? Even the last minute, I felt whoever won that last minute could have won the fight. How did you feel in that whole last round?
In the last round, I knew that we were both really kind of tired. I don't know. It was such an intense fight that we really gave it all since the first minute. So we didn't have like all the conditioning to go and fight a last round like the first round, but we were giving it all. So I feel happy, and like I have no regrets for anything I did in that fight. I gave all I had, and I feel like he gave all he had. So, you know, that's what I think. It was great, and we did our best.
So how has it been now? You know, you've been on this show, getting all this exposure, won a fight, had a fight you basically could have won. How has it been back home? You know, what are people saying? How do they feel up that you did on the show? What's the feedback you've been getting?
You know, everybody's very happy for my performance at the show, and especially happy because that's what, you know, gave me the opportunity to fight here in the UFC. So I'm really happy, and all my family is really happy. We're proud of. I worked hard. I worked really hard to get here, and I never gave up. No matter how hard it would get, I would keep on pushing forward. Sometimes I lost fights. I have been on a time that I lost 2 fights in a row, and I never let that put me down. You know, I knew that I would get here eventually if I worked hard and I kept my mindset on being a champion, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a champion and keep working harder.
Okay. When the show finished towards the end, they had to pick somebody to fight Sunday. Most of your team seemed to be picking you. Eventually, they decided not to go with you. Were you a little bit disappointed because it seemed like just a little bit more, you probably could have gotten the win?
You know, I definitely would love to get that rematch with Hyder. So that would disappoint me, but we didn't know at that point who they would choose. And I think Kamaru is a very complete fighter. He is very good in striking, and he has outstanding wrestling. And his ground game is improving. I mean, I would say that for me, he's one of the best wrestlers in jiu-jitsu. He has a lot of jiu-jitsu skills and submissions and everything. So I think, like, stylistically, he would be a guy that would be ready to fight anybody that they would put, and especially Hyder. And if they put Hyder, which we thought it could be him or Graves or somebody, or Coy, we thought also could be Coy, and he's ready to fight any of them, especially Hyder. You know, he can bring a different fight for Hyder because he can stand with Hyder, and whenever he wants to take him down, he will take him down, and he will capitalize on that ground game.
And they're both undefeated, so it's an interesting matchup to see it. How do you see the fight playing out then? Do you see the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling to be the advantage for your teammate?
You know, I believe Kamaru is going to go out there to try to impress, so he will try to strike in the beginning, and he is really good in striking, especially boxing. But whenever he feels the need, he will take him down and use his ground and pound, which is very powerful. But I don't see it another way. I think that Kamaru will win that fight.
If you had the chance to fight Hyder again, it was such a close fight, what would you do? Would you just fight the same fight and get the edge this time, fighting the same way? Or do you feel like there's something you could have done a little bit different? How'd you fight if you had that chance again?
When I fought him the first time, I didn't know I would fight him until the weighing day. So getting ready for him, it would be a little bit different. I think I would train even more my boxing and maybe my head movement, not to get jabbed so much. But basically the strategy would be the same, go there and pressure him, and I would look for the knockout. I think that's what I would really look to knock him out before that third round.
Okay. And obviously, again, we know he has power. Did you ever feel his power? Was there any punch you thought, whoa?
No, I've been hit by a lot of people, and I can tell you that he is the hardest guy that I've ever been hit by in an MMA fight. It wasn't enough to even rock me, but you know, he really hits hard.
Okay. What's next for your career? What have you heard? Obviously, you know, you got so much publicity out of this. What's next for you?
I'm going to keep on working my way up. I got a fight with Michael Graves now, and that's my first step in the UFC, and after that one, I just want to keep climbing the ladder and get to a title fight eventually.
Lastly, you know, this whole thing was about the gyms, ATT, Blackzillians. You finally had the contest. You guys won more fights. They won the points. How do you look back on that? You know, is there still that rivalry there? Was it settled? What can you tell? Or is it more trash talking because they won the points?
I think that's never going to be settled. You know, it's much more than just two teams that wanna go against each other and be the best. We want to be the better team, and our owners, the team owners, they hate each other. So, you know, that's never that hate will never finish. And I believe that we have the better team. I truly believe we won more fights. The point system, you know, I don't know. It was there mainly not to make the show not exciting, because we would have won after we won the 7 fights. That would be it. So you needed that point system. But I still respect a lot ATT, me as a fighter, and I think all the fighters, you know, we respect all the fighters on the other team. We know how hard they are, and they really pushed. And when they needed, you know, to really have heart and have a good mindset, they had it, and they pushed forward and kept them coming. Regardless from the decisions, the guys went in there to fight on both sides on those last 4 fights. So I'm happy, you know. I think that we're the better team, no matter the competition doesn't say what it is. But I'm happy with the show.
And actually, I have one last question.
Yes.
I live in Vegas now. I used to live in South Florida. I know for a fact South Florida is big on MMA. A lot of Brazilians, a lot of Spanish people that love the sport. Why do you think it is that that South Florida doesn't get more UFC events? This event on Sunday should have been in South Florida, really. Why do you feel it is that that South Florida doesn't get more UFC and MMA events in general?
I think that South Florida they're not big in promoting things over there, you know. Maybe if they took their time to promote it, they would get a lot of fans. I mean, I went to the fight of Lyoto, and I forgot the guy's name, but I went there to those fights.
Romero?
Yeah, Yoel Romero, and you know it was packed, and people were loving those fights. So I think if you really put your time and do the right, get a good card with people from there, Blackzillians, ATT, and all the other teams that we have there, I think it's gonna be, you know, they're gonna get a lot of money with that, and everybody's gonna be happy, the fans and the UFC.
Okay, perfect. Lastly, a message for all you fans that are gonna be watching this video.
Well, you know, they can expect that I'm going to go out there and bring the best fight that I can. I'm always going to go to strike, and if the guy tries to take me down, I'm going to defend those takedowns and keep looking for the knockout. That's what I do, and that's what I'm always going to do.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Senator.